All right guys, today we're gonna see if we can get this 40 horse engine running a little better. The last video, we got it running and it was running pretty good. We've got the rebuilt fuel pump on here and we have a new distributor. I put the old coil back on and the old carburetor. I wanted to see how it ran with the original carburetor and the original coil. I want to rebuild this carburetor today. Adjust the valves, change the belt, change the oil. Let's see if we can get it to run with that carburetor. Like that. Running pretty good, but you see it's leaking right there. Just saw that. There's definitely an issue with the little pump area. It's leaking, so hopefully we can fix that. But it was working pretty good. Let's get it off there, clean it up, and take it apart and put it in the carb cleaner and rebuild it. Let's do it. All right guys, went down to AutoZone, picked up some Chem Dip earlier. Get in the zone, AutoZone. We're gonna clean this, we're gonna take it all apart, clean it, and hopefully I got the right parts here so we can build it, put it back on, torque the heads, adjust the valves, do whatever we can before we put it back in the car to take it on its first drive. Let's get this carburetor cleaned up real quick. Just gonna start taking all these screws off here, off the top. A couple different types of screws. These three right here, well, there's two round ones, and then there's three that have hex heads on them. So I don't know if somebody's been in here before and they used different screws. It's possible. There it goes. It's a little dirty in there. Try to keep that gasket intact so we can compare it to the new one. There's the bowl, the float. Yeah, the bowl's a little dirty. Look at that. That thing just popped right out of there. Hey guys, check out this new tire inflator from Yontu. It'll only take a few seconds and we'll get right back to the video. Very nice carrying case. Case is really nice. Holds the pump on this side. And this side has all your accessories. But this one is supposed to be 2 times faster. What's cool about these is there's a battery inside. You hook this into your outlet in your car and it comes with a really long cord. So this just attaches right here. Very sturdy, heavy duty cables. All right, we're gonna take it off power. It's been charging for a little while. Let's see if we can get these tires pumped up. All right, let's start on the front. Yeah, this was 17. It stopped at 36. Perfect. Let's get the rear one pumped up. This one says 18.5. Let's pump it up to 36. Works really nice. Pretty fast, easy to use. It should stop at 36. Let's see what happens. Stopped at 36. This thing's awesome. Go check them out. Yontu A22 tire inflator. All right, guys, go check them out. Yontu. There's a link below. Check them out. This thing works great. Appreciate it. There's a little spring under here. Oh, look at all that crud right there. That's where it was leaking through here. Pretty bad. You can see it in there. Yeah, look at that big hole in there. See it? It's ripped and it's hard as a rock. Look at all that crud in there. Wow. And it was running good, so it's kind of crazy. It's gonna run even better after this. Yeah, look at all the crud in there. Wow. There's little tiny spacers under those screws. There it goes. Wow, it doesn't look too bad. Look how clean it looks in there. Looks brand new. That's awesome. And inside it's clean too. Look how clean it is in there. Ooh, the little spring just came out of there. Now that's interesting because this is not part of the kit. I want to make sure I don't mess up that diaphragm. All right, it's been about 30 minutes. Probably gonna leave it longer, but let's just take a quick look. It's looking good, but it's not done. All this stuff's just kind of coming off with your finger though, you see that? Oh yeah. It's getting there. Just kind of stir it up a little bit. Help it out a little bit. I think we can put it back in there for a little bit. Let it soak for another 15 minutes or so. And we'll come take a look at it. But that's looking pretty good. All right, it's been about another 30 minutes. About an hour total. Yeah, there's still some stuff on there, but it's looking pretty good. Let's see what the other pieces look like. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, let's just agitate this a little bit with a toothbrush. We'll put it back in there for another 10-15 minutes and we should be good. It's cleaning it really good, and it's just got the junk kind of just sitting on the surface, and you can just kind of wipe it off. Just gonna hit everything with the toothbrush, put it back in there for a few more minutes, and we'll be good to go. All right, guys, I think this is it. Let's pull it out. We've had it in and out of there a couple times, and each time has been about 15 to 30 minutes. So it's probably been an hour and a half or so total. It's looking pretty good. Everything looks pretty good. I think if we left it in there a little longer, these would get cleaned up a little bit better, but I think we're fine for now. I'm gonna blow everything out with brake clean, and we'll blow all the passages out, hit it real good with brake clean. All right, guys, everything is cleaned up, sprayed it all out with brake clean. Yeah, it's looking much better. Look how clean that came out. Very nice. Let's put it back together and see how it runs. All right, guys, there it is, cleaned up pretty good. Of course, you could polish it more, hit it on the wire wheel and all that good stuff, but for now, we're just gonna see how it runs. Hopefully it's not leaking anymore, and we can do a better, more detailed job on it later. Let's see what happens. There it goes. All right, guys, it's running, but we got a little leak right here. This thing must be leaking. Oh yeah, just popped out of there. Alrighty, well, we might have to put one of those bird ones, the screw-in ones in there, threaded one in there, or we can JB weld this. I did that with the fuel pump. I JB welded these, and that worked out good. So yeah, that's another reason why your Volkswagen catches on fire. That pops out and squirts engine fuel all over your engine while you're driving down the road. Not good. All right, so we're gonna use the JB Weld, get this cleaned up and get it in there. Gotta let it sit for 24 hours. Cure time is 15 to 24 hours. Might as well let it sit as long as possible. Just use a little sandpaper. Now we'll hit it with this 150 or 120, and I'll just put a little tooth on there for the epoxy to grab onto, just on the end where it's going to go into the carburetor. Gives a little tooth. Just a little bit of each one. Ah, it comes squirting out of there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Just tap it a little bit. There it is. All right, guys, it's the next day. The carburetor's been sitting, curing, and I'm gonna let them cure for a little bit longer. It's been about 24 hours. I did both of them. We're gonna go with this one because this is the original carburetor for this engine. We're gonna save this for another build or just to use as testing. Now, I want to adjust the head bolts, make sure the torque specs are good on the head bolts, and get the tin off, clean everything underneath there, make sure there's no nest, critter nest or debris under there. And we can adjust the head bolts on each side and also adjust the valves. Basically, kind of like a little overhaul. So let's go ahead and get this fan shroud off, generator, and all this tin so we can get to the head bolts. Let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the spark plug wires out of the way. I marked them all just in case, but I do know now that this is number 1, and you can just go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thanks, Mike F. Get these out of the way. We'll get the coil wire out of the way. The strap right here is supposed to be tight, and it just holds the generator to the stand and just keeps it tight. But it was loose, so I just moved it back here. We're gonna loosen this nut here on the pulley, and we've got some screws holding the fan housing on, and then that thing will pop off. Let's do it. Been on there a while. See how many spacers we have. Oh, they're a little crispy. Okay. Got 5 on there. They're a little crispy and rusty, so we'll clean those up, but there they are. Get that belt out of the way. I got a new belt we can put on too. There it goes. It's starting to come. Those actually came out pretty good. Okay, this should pop off now. Let's try it. There it is. Oh yeah. There's a little bit of junk in there. All right, fan, alternator is off. You can see there's some stuff down in here. See all the junk down in there, like where little nests were. You want those fins to be clear so that they can cool properly. We still got to get these off. We got to get the intake off. Yeah, you can see all the stuff down in there. Let's get all that stuff out of there, get it blown off really good, adjust the heads, adjust the valves, put it back together, put the carb on it, see how it runs. All right, let's get these intakes off here. These are 10 millimeter. Ooh. Let's try the ratchet on there. All right, intake is off. It's seen better days. There's a huge crack right here. I don't think that affects it. I think it's just a molding that holds those two pieces together. But there is a little rust through right here we need to clean up. Probably just fill that with some JB Weld. All right, fan housing's off. Intake is off. Let's put, wow, look at all that crud right there on the edge. You don't want that going into the engine. Yeah, that's nasty. Let me see if I can get this napkin in there without putting anything in there. And then we'll, now that the napkin's in there, we'll scrub all that and clean it really good. See if we can get this tin off. These are gonna be on here, I bet you. Oh yeah. Those are gonna need some vice grips. There we go. Oh, that one just broke. That sucks. That goes into the head, so dang it. One broke, one came out. So, okay, these tins are fighting us a little bit. We had one break off here. That one is completely seized. We had one break off over here, and this one we're gonna have to cut. There we go. Oof, that sucker was not happy. We've got access to these head bolts now on this side. Let's go ahead and check those, see how those are. All right, let's torque this side. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 head bolts there that you can't get to unless you take the tin off. And the other ones are under the valve cover. And we got to get the rocker nuts off first. Just want to loosen these a little bit of it at a time. Okay, now we can get to the head bolts on the bottom. Push rod tubes. All right, we got our head bolts here. We're going to follow the instructions. I'm going to put a little lube on these. I'm not taking them off, but they are pretty rusty. All right, so now we got access to all the head nuts. That is the sequence that we're going to follow right there. So we're going to start at number 1, which is right here. It should be close. We got a little bit of turnage, and there it hit it right there. Okay, it turned just a hair. So these just loosen up over time. That one went right to it, so that one's good. That one's good. So number 1 was loose. So far the other ones are good. 4. Let's see number 5. Number 5 is good. Number 6. And number 7. Oh, number 7 was loose. Number 7 was really loose. All right, guys, I got the yoke off, got it up on the table so we could get this off. I had to bend it up like that to get the yoke on there. That yoke is, it's more designed for a 914 or a Porsche, bigger engines. This would be better with the 2-pole It's just got like 2 little arms that go onto it. That's got 4 arms, and those get in the way of the tin. Anyway, we got that tin off. We got the tin off, and look at this. Look how loose that is. It's not loose, but it looks like it's backed off. I don't know, maybe that's just that doesn't look right. So that's why we're checking these. That's crazy. Just lubing these up a little bit because they are super rusty. A little rag there to catch that oil. There we go. Backing those off a little bit at a time. That one was a little tighter to get off, I think because it was in, whatever stroke it was in, the compression stroke. It seemed like there was just a little bit more tension on it right here. Possibly, but it didn't mention anything about that in the book, so hopefully I'm okay. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. All right, guys, apparently the 40 horse is supposed to be 24 foot-pounds, give or take a foot-pound, I guess, if they are the 10mm studs, which I think is what we have. I'm gonna check these real quick. Yeah, it's going in between the grooves there, so they're either 8 or 10. Let's measure them with this. Yeah, they're not measuring exactly 10. There we go. Yeah, those are 10mm studs. So yeah, these are the 10mm studs. So they're supposed to be at between 22 to 23 foot-pounds. So let's do that. All right, I got it set to 23 foot-pounds now. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, it's moving a little bit. There it goes. One. That one's good. That one's moving a little bit. All right. Thanks, Mike, for helping me with that again. Appreciate it, buddy. Mike up in garage. We're close on all of them. Number 8. Oh, that one's turning. I got off sequence somehow. Let's number 6 is here. Number 5. Yeah, number 5 is moving a little bit. Okay. And then number 5. I don't know how I did that. Let's start over. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, 6 is up here. 6. 7, 8. Okay, we're good at 23 foot-pounds on that side. All right, let's get these rockers back on. Little cups go into the push rods. Just want to get these push rods in those little cups and don't put too much pressure on it until we know they're all lined up. 18 foot-pounds. There we go. There we go. All right, let's get some of this junk off here. We're gonna blow it off really good. All right, guys, it's looking better. Took it outside and blew all the junk out of all these little vents in between there. We got almost everything out of there. It's looking a lot better. So we're gonna adjust the valves now. I just got off the phone with Mike F and he kind of gave me a refresher on it. I haven't done it in a little while, so he walked me through it real quick. Basically, we're at top dead center right now. That little mark right there on the left lines up with the split in the case. We're at top dead center and we're at number 1. This is our number 1 on this because they have the gear in here 180 out. Number 1 would normally be right here. So we're at top dead center right now, and I put a little mark down here at the bottom because we want to go 180 degrees counterclockwise is what he said when we go to do number 2. And we're going to adjust this valve to 6. Got 0.006 is what we're adjusting it to. And we just want to get that gap in between there to fit nice and snug. And we do that by adjusting these and then tighten it down here. We're going to screw this in until this fits nice and snug. Which is about right there. You want to have some resistance, but not a whole lot, not too much. That's it right there. So now we have to adjust. We have to keep the screwdriver right where we want it and then tighten it down to 13 here. Tighten it down, then we can check it again. It's a little tight. Well, I think we're good. I'm gonna do this one. Now we're going to turn it 180 counterclockwise, he said, and we should be pointing it at number 2, which is here. Should be about right there. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good right there like that. All right, we're going to go counterclockwise 180 degrees. That should be pointing at number 3. So we're doing number 3, and then we're going to do number 4. We did 1, 2, this is 3, and then we're going to do 4. This one's a little loose, and this one's a little tight, so definitely needs some adjustment. That feels pretty good. Right there. That feels pretty good. No, it's too tight. There you go. All right. It fits, but there's a little bit of resistance. All right, we're gonna do the last one here. All right, guys, let's get this thing put back together and get it back on the stand. Put our bushings on, spacers. Our nut. All right, guys, looks like we got it all back together. I don't think we missed anything, hopefully. We got the rebuilt carburetor on here. We got everything put back together. All the heads have been torqued down and the valves adjusted. It should, in theory, run a little bit better. Hopefully it does. We still have some things we need to do. We need to work on the timing a little bit. I don't have a timing light right now. We got to get that sorted just a little bit, but I think we're close. I did do the static timing and got within the light zone. Also, we don't have a spring return on here, and we've got to get this idle figured out. But hopefully this leak is good now. I did that JB weld on there, so hopefully I just want to make sure the carburetor is running properly and is not leaking. Let's see what happens. We'll put a little fuel in the carb because it is dry. Completely dry. All right, guys. Hopefully it runs decent. Let's see. We got everything hooked up. this thing gets messed up a little bit. Well guys, I need to get a timing light, do some more fine tuning on the timing, and getting the carb adjusted just right. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Alright guys, I'm pretty happy with that. I gotta fine tune some other stuff, but overall it's not bad. Let's go ahead and change the oil, because that is the oil I put in there after I'd cleaned it all out. And it's probably got some stuff floating around in it. So let's drain it, see what it looks like. Well, oh yeah, it's nasty. All right, we got the oil drained, got the filter off, and there is a little junk still in there floating around. That almost looks like a piece of metal. Let's see if the magnet picks it up. Maybe not. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Definitely some, maybe just carbon, some hard carbon in there, built up on the inside the heads and stuff probably. And there's a little bit here, but it does seem to kind of break apart, and the magnet didn't pick it up, so it's not metal, or I guess it could be aluminum. You could kind of see the bottom of the case was really corroded bad up in here. So it could be little chunks of this magnesium. Probably little chunks of magnesium floating around in there, because you can see how bad the bottom of that case is eaten up. And it's just around the edge. So something was sitting in there just eating away at that edge. But the inside feels smooth. We cleaned it really, really good, but it's amazing that there's still dirt coming out of there. So I'm gonna clean these up. And we're gonna put some cheap oil in there again. We'll run it for 5-10 minutes, and we'll do it again and put some good stuff in there. Hopefully just one more time is gonna clean it up. All right, we got some new gaskets, seals, bushings, and washers and stuff. Crush washer. Got the filter all cleaned up. Hit it with some brake clean. Let's get this back on. Get some fresh oil in there. Let's get some fresh oil in there. might have to do this another couple of times until we get some nice clean oil coming out of there. You see, that's what it should look like coming out. I mean, it gets a little burnt when it's running, but we'll run it a few more minutes and see how it looks. All right, check it out. Oh yeah, it's right on the line. Perfect. Just barely. That'll be good. We'll run it for a minute. Check the level again. All right, let's see what happens. Oh man. All right guys, let's go do it for this one. Next week, we're gonna get this in Alabama. The 64 Beetle we rescued from Alabama a few weeks ago. It's been sitting in a barn for over, I think it's been sitting for like 40 years. They said 25, but to me it looks like it's been sitting a lot longer. We're gonna take it for a first drive. Hopefully. If everything goes well this week. Alright guys, I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. See you on the next one. Later.